7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Welcome to Innovating a Game Changer podcast. This is podcast number 14. Today we're going to continue our journey with the tech trends for 2017. This is part 2 in a multi-part series. We're going to look today at interactive gaming. Specifically, we'll look at the history of gaming, the next generation of gaming, how to apply gamification to your innovations, and what the future holds. I'm your innovator. This is Nevarda Smith, and you're listening to Innovating a Game Changer podcast. Welcome. We are live. This is Innovating a Game Changer podcast number 14. Today we're going to continue our journey into the tech trends for 2017. I look forward to sharing this with you and getting right into starting with it. All right, so interactive gaming, again, you can download this from the Klinger website. The link will be actually below in the notes below, so take a look at this. This is a 340-odd page presentation that was presented already. I'm just representing this information here, so let's get started. So looking at the global and interactive gaming, it's really becoming mainstream right now, and it's evolving rapidly. But we believe it's really early in the days. And if you take a look at what's coming on from a millennial perspective, looking at the gamers, there's 2.6 billion gamers out there versus only 100 million in 1995. So this thing is starting to become mainstream right now. And there's a lot of opportunity for growth in applying this stuff in an innovative way into all sorts of industries. And we should be specifically taking a look at some of those today. So if you take a look at the gaming evolution, individual play used to be where we were at. It started at solo playing in the living room with Pong, and then we moved to these many people actually coming and seeing these. In fact, some of the biggest sellout crowds right now are online and in arena playing, where thousands of people come to see these new levels of sports people, which are the gamers, actually compete for hundreds of thousands of dollars in prizes. Moore's Law was really about processing, and the processing power that we had available to us in the past was limited. Therefore, the games that we could actually present were limited. And now we're on Zuckerberg's Law, where it's a sharing economy, it's a sharing environment. You can utilize a network of computers or a network of gaming boxes to actually share the processing load and have multiple players on it at the same time. And what you can see right now is there's a collaborative play going on, and everything's moving to multiple people playing the same game in open environments, and that's going to continue as we move through into 2018 through 2020 as well. And you're going to see the power of these things start to explode, and more of these games being live streamed on Twitch and other live streaming platforms. You're going to start to see this thing becoming a platform that is going to be bigger than any sport that we have had in the past. So if you look at the Gen X's in the 1970s through the 1990s, you can see that we were playing console games in shops and arcades. We moved on to platform games that we could actually play in-house on the Atari and Sega, etc. And these were really limited in their graphics capability. By 1990s, we started to look at the millennials coming in. The games became more interactive and more available for multiple people to play. And by 2000s, there were online gaming platforms that could actually deal with this. If you take a look at the big ones right now, is Overwatch is absolutely huge. Overwatch is a multiple player game that's got an open environment that everybody comes into. And of course, it matches you up with the skill rating that you're at. You're playing in teams, and it's highly popular right now. We also saw the Pokemon Go craze go, so it took effect really quickly. Now, it's not as big as what it was 6 months ago, but it is still quite huge out there. And of course, Candy Crush. And if you take a look at it right now, Candy Crush is actually putting on a television show, game show, where they're going to play Candy Crush in different ways. We'll have to see how that takes off and how popular that one is. So interactive gaming revenue, you can take a look at it here. This is in billions. So we got $47 billion coming out of the Asia Pacific market. North America, it's at $25 billion. Western Europe, $17 billion. And you can see the Middle East and Eastern Europe and Latin America also growing. It is becoming large. It's a growing business, and there's a ton of revenue out here. There's $100 billion up for grabs, and it's had 9% year-over-year growth. As the platforms become more powerful and the internet connectivity across the world is becoming larger bandwidth, you're going to see these revenues continue to increase. The new wave of people actually integrating with their the way they do business and the way they utilize their tooling, you need to start to look at gamification, how you can apply those techniques to keep the millennials interested in what they're doing, and gamification is a great way of doing that. So if you take a look at the gamers, 35-year-olds is the average in the USA, and you can see that's pretty much standard across the board there throughout the years that have gone through. You can see we went 30 to 35 is the average age of individual that's playing these games. The 50%, the 50-plus crowd is up there and staying pretty level, and the under 18 crowd is continuing to grow. So you've got a wide demographics there to apply these gamification techniques to multiple demographics and actually be successful. So if you take a look at the big thing right now is the female gamers, there's a bunch of players. If you go back in time, female players, it wasn't really something that the females did. Right now you can see 69% of players on match 3 are female. Family Farms and Sims is 69%. Casual Puzzle is 42%. Massive MMOs and fantasies 36%. So the female is a market that's really coming in here. It's an increasing rise, and we shouldn't forget about the female demographic as we're going into this and starting to look at how do we gamify our innovations as we move forward, especially in the way we deliver our content via social media and marketing presence. So gaming tools are now pervasive online. You're able to optimize learning and engagement, and it's fundamental for internet services. It's the foundation for internet services moving forward. So gaming tools are going to optimize the learning and engagement in the following ways. So you can do repetition, dynamic difficulty adjustments, solving puzzles, planning workshops, workflows, leveling up, just a few. The social connection and the leadership observing is very, very important, especially with the games right now, where you're ranked in as far as where you're competing, either in your team or where you're competing as an individual in these particular games. That's very, very important. That keeps the individual engaged as well. And so we should take a look at these areas for applying these gamification pieces to any of the products that we put out. So if you take a look at this, this really follows a plan, do, check, adapt cycle. The developers, the people that are playing these games, they've put inside of these games to test out your tactics, and if you fail, you start again, and then you try a different tactic. This particular trial and error cycle allows the gamer to get better at what they're doing, but it's also a way to give repetitive learning capabilities. So if you're in the education or if you're in chronic care, gamification is a great way to help an individual engage with their chronic care track and actually stay on their medications and understand what happens if they don't do their medications. And so getting that interactivity and getting that plan, do, check, adapt cycle implied here is very, very important, and we need to make sure that we're building those things into all of our experiences as we're moving forward. And it's a great way, again, from an education standpoint, to learn how to adapt to the changing environments as you move forward. Dynamic difficulty adjustment is really where you need to go and set the ability of the individual game. So fine-tuning those games. If you take a look at the multi-level, the massive online games where there's multiple people competing, obviously the skill sets are hugely and widely between starters and people that are actually experts in competing at the top level in these arenas for these large prizes. And you can see what happens is if you get outside of this flow zone, you start to get anxiety, or of course you get bored. So what the gaming platforms do right now is they try to rank up the skill sets of the individuals with those that are similar, and you'll start to see a ranking form within those environments, and then you'll start to play against people that are either just below where you're at or just above where you're at. So that gives you the capability to constantly improve without actually getting anxiety or boredom and then dropping out of the game. And this is an analytics capability that is allows the individual game companies and the gaming people developers to actually make sure that they keep their users engaged. So we really want to be making sure that we're getting that analytics capability fed back to us, and we want to make sure that any gamification that we actually apply to any innovations, we're also got an algorithm that keeps people within their skill sets to keep those people engaged. So solving puzzles and pattern recognition is really adaptive for critical thinking. If we go back, Minesweeper was one of those games that we had back in the 1990s, and of course now we're moving on to highly interactive problem-solving puzzles, such as the detective cases here in this particular game. Planning workflows, managing time and resource efficiency, those are also built into the games. As Legend of Zelda, you can see that there was a countdown to the final day, so there was a call to action there. And you can see that the StarCraft 2 required resource management, so making sure that you've got enough. And so does Minecraft as well. Minecraft was one of the larger ones there that required those resources to be able to build what you needed to build, and therefore they're teaching resource management and time management as well. Completing tasks and making a call to action, focusing on the end goal. Pokemon Go did a wonderful one at that. They got to catch them all. That keep the users engaged. They tried to revamp Pokemon Go as well by releasing new monsters out into the real world and additional features. Again, they were a massive hit in summer last year, and it's dropped right off right now. But we'll have to see how they last as a long-term marketing ploy out there with the Pokemon Go. Skyrim was another one that tracked experience as well. You can see that here's some measurements that are against you from an analytics perspective. You can see how you're increasing, and that keeps the end user engaged to get to the end goal, which is full level up progress for each one of these particular categories that you're being measured on. So ongoing progress measurement, again, back to the analytics, you need to be collecting those, and you need to be understanding where those individuals need to be from a leveling up perspective. They need to be engaged. They need to be getting prizes at each level so that they can continue to go up on each one of the levels. So making sure that you're taking a look at the levels, making sure that the levels are getting harder as they go up and require more skills is very, very important to keep the user engaged. But again, you don't want to get out of that area of comfortability and push them into anxiety. If you do, you're going to lose people. So taking a look back at the analytics of where the dropout rate is and adjusting those levels to fine-tune them so that you get a nice increase throughout the game is obviously very, very important. So playing against self versus playing against others obviously is going to sharpen your skills. And back in the day, there was no option. You were playing against the computer, and today we've got these massive multi-level, multiple-player open environments that we can play in. And then, of course, we're going to be sharpening skills against others. And if you take a look at those open environments right now, again, you're getting ranked against those others that are playing. So trying to get up that rank is very, very important. Again, take those analytics back in, take a look at what's going on, and apply those to your innovations as you move forward. Exploring versus discovering, open, closed doors, hack to improvement. So if we take a look at Silent Hill and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, they were really, really good at discovering Easter eggs. There was a lot of stuff that was applied inside of the application there that you could actually do, put people on actual searches for these Easter eggs. You can do the same thing in innovations as you're gamifying anything that you're dealing with here too. The secret levels were important in Super Mario Brothers, and you want to be able to try to find those secret levels, and everybody was interested in getting to those particular levels. Now, those could have been deliberately placed in, and they may not have been. If you take a look at Need for Speed was a great one. You could actually jump the cars off the track and then drive around in space. Following rules versus structured play. Again, these open environments don't have a set of rules in place, but they allow the conflict to be there by the defined rules. Typically, what you want to do is, as individual players are breaking rules, you want to make sure that there's consequences associated with those things. For example, if you take a look at this particular one here, if you trip a player here, you're going to get a red card and get sent off the field. And so making sure that you're building in real life consequences is ultimately important as well. Collaborating in the social connection with leadership, you want to learn from and work with others. And as you can see here from an Overwatch and a World of Warcraft and Diablo, StarCraft, these are key multiplayer franchises that are in the market right now. And you can see that in Q1 2017, we were hitting a 41 here for the social interaction. So social is becoming very, very important here. You want to make sure that you've got social capabilities built into your platform, whether you're gamifying a particular thing, a particular process, or gamifying a particular product that you're putting out to the market. The social interaction aspect is very, very important. You want to make sure that those features are available. Observing, you want to learn from others by watching others perform. Twitch right now is absolutely huge. Look at the number of streamed hours and the unique monthly visitors that have gone on the Twitch platform here. You can see that we've hit over 2 million unique monthly streamers, and hours streamed is at 4.9 billion. Again, the top streamers, the top game players are making a living just streaming them playing gameplay, and they've got a lot of followers. You can see here the overlay that they've got. And so live stream gameplay is here, the subscribers here, there's ultimate chat, there's chats coming up where people can interact with the other people watching, and there's also a video of the individual that's actually playing the game. What happens is you can see the reactions of this individual as they're playing the game, and you can see the reactions of those that are watching as well. So it's highly interactive, highly social, going on inside of the Twitch streaming platform, and I fully expect Twitch to continue to grow and start to provide pay-per-view type stuff that's going on, especially with the big events as they start to move forward. Again, the events that the gaming events are outstripping any other sports that are in America at this moment, so it's going to be a massive platform moving forward. So interacting and analyzing the data, many gamers have strong math underpinnings. So if you take a look at the live stats that are coming in, these are just like live stats with football or any other sport. These live stats are being fed constantly. These players are trying to level up. These players are trying to get better at what they're doing. And you can see how important in 2016 these stats are with the fantasy sports players that are going on. And you can see the population right now is sitting at about 18% of the US population over 18 is actually engaged in some sort of fantasy sports. So you're going to see this area grow as well as you move forward in 2018 through to 2020. So self-optimizing, driven by math, statistics, and metrics and ranking. In-game player analytics dashboards is going to be increasingly important as we move forward here. You want to make sure that you're getting that feedback and those stats are coming back, and you can compare those with others as you move forward. Creative storytelling is important. You want to be a master of the universe. Choosing gameplay experience in Mass 3. You're able to play as action, a role-playing, or a story mode. You want to have those modifications inside of the system, and of course with your innovations in your platforms that you're building or your particular features that you're putting out to market in a non-game market for a particular product. You want to build these things in. You want to be able to play multiple roles. You want to have multiple experience in there, and then layering the building blocks of the virtual world. And this you can see here is from Minecraft, and how creative the individuals in the Minecraft space have actually become. You can think about the Minecraft as being a blank canvas, and these individuals are building these particular things that they're building. These objects that they're building are built brick by brick, and of course those bricks have to be mined and collected to be able to build those things. So you can see the artistry that's in here, and the creativity of the teams that are actually building these online environments. So foundations for internet services, of course, you want reputation and rankings. You want digital recognition, interactive learning. You want to be able to upgrade and downloadable, automatic downloadable content. You want to look at messaging, live camera angles, and graphics computation as well. Early gaming in 1978, you can see was very blocky. It was Space Invaders, and mainstream internet now. You can see these superhost programs recognizing, taking the analytics out. So gamifying the particular Airbnb, which is a place where you can book a individual house and actually stay there and rent. And you can see that those particular people that are in there from a host perspective, but also from a traveler perspective, getting ranked up and getting these badges as they move through the Airbnb network and start to provide those services on the Airbnb platform. So gamification is really, really important moving forward to keep your particular service at the leading edge and make sure that you're engaging with your particular customers. Early gaming, Activision 2600 games, which was Atari. You can see that there were these badges that were capable, physical badges for in-game achievements were available, and now we've gone the digital badges, and you can see those in mainstream internet right now with these emoticons. So early gaming in 1980s with Atari was the first role-playing game, was called Adventure. And now mainstream internet is implementing those storytellings with Netflix, Amazon, and Twitch. And so you're experimenting with interactive shows right now on all of these platforms, and they're seeing how those are playing out. So look forward towards the end of 2017 to 2018 to see what's going on in those areas there, and see what the type of feedback's coming back from those interactive shows that are being played on all of these platforms. Interactive learning has deep roots in gaming, of course. You took a look at the Lemonade stands, was teaching economics back in the early 1990s, and you can see the leveling up on the languages is now mainstream, seeing how you're going from learning a new language with Duolingo. Upgrades and downloadable contents. Back in the day, you used to have to buy a cartridge and plug it into your Sega. This gave you the capability to actually download content via your cable subscription. Now it's over-the-air software, and you can obviously tell Tesla is one of the major players in there. In fact, you can wake up one morning and your Tesla car can be completely different based on the software that's been installed. Most people that had the Tesla, once autopilot features came available, those things were downloaded automatically, and the next day you had the capability to go and deal with the autopilot. The same thing with the high performance packages. Of course, those cost money, but those high performance packages could be downloaded, and your car feel could be changed just by downloading a package that would give you capabilities to unlock high areas. So looking at the secondary markets, the deep roots in gaming, early gaming in 2001, you can see here that the secondary markets for items and currency were available, and today there are sticker packs and other online capabilities where you can actually buy and sell things that you're building inside of your applications, inside of these gaming platforms, the skill levels that you skilled up, the tools, the whatever it is that you're utilizing, they can also be bought and purchased. And so there's an economy for secondary markets and currency online right now with buying and selling these particular objects that you've got inside of your particular gaming things. So messaging, again, is deep roots in gaming. Early gaming in 1999 gave you the capability to do messaging. Now we've got Slack and Discord for these gaming, so online streaming capabilities, real chat, WeChat capabilities that are going on right now. So you're going to see that this interactive aspect of it is something that's really grabbing the attention of individuals to keep them engaged in their particular online gaming experience and make it very social, where you can speak with those other people that are watching, as well as directly with the people that are actually playing and presenting this online content through Twitch or another platform. Live camera angles. You can see right now that back in the day, the cable TV cameras used to have a couple of angles of what it was that you could see for a live game. And you can see now that Madden football, from a football perspective, has given these capabilities. And if you've ever been to a football game, you can see the wires that these particular cameras actually be on. And I think moving forward, we're going to see a lot more use of drones and giving live action shots with the drones is going to become more and more important. But right now they're attached to cables and they're driving up and down the field via those cables. But the drones are going to become more important as we move forward. And you can see that those live camera angles are going to be important in the online gaming community as well. So multiple camera angles, switching backwards and forwards between those camera angles, and gameplay is going to be important. So graphics of computation, obviously back in the day, the gaming capability was limited by the number of CPU you could do. Then we came out with graphics processing cards specifically. This was the first 256 GPU that was available back in 1999. It made a real difference with it. Now mainstream companies are using GPU for artificial intelligence. So Amazon Web Services and IBM Watson is something that I'm highly involved with as well. And then Google DeepMind are these artificial intelligence platforms that are actually running on GPUs versus CPUs. So in the era of perceived disengagement, engagement is rising. So how do we get that engagement rising? So let's take a look at a little bit of the social media. So daily number of minutes spent across digital media platforms. You can see Instagram was 21 minutes, Snapchat 30, King, which is the mobile games in 2017, 35, Facebook was 50, and video game consoles was clearly the leader at 51 minutes per day spent on those particular platforms per user. Mobile daily gaming sessions is increasing, as you would expect, with the adoption of mobile and the capabilities of those phones to increase the CPU and GPU capabilities. We're going to continue to see this trend rise as we go forward into the future, and those powerful computers, actually the powerful phones, get even stronger with those capabilities. On top of that, the 5G networks that are now becoming available are going to allow high quality HD live streaming capability, and from a mobile perspective, and of course the cost of those internet connections is coming down. So there will be a time where we will probably cut the cable completely as far as even fiber, because the capability of the mobile hotspot is going to be such that there's just no need to lay cable anymore. So there's a couple of quotes here. One is, when I play a video game, it's the only time I put away the phone and forget it exists. And so the video games really command your attention here. Nothing else is going to matter at this point in time. So it's a real immersive experience. It's not only an immersive experience for the individuals that are playing the game, but it's also an immersive experience and a social experience for those that are playing along or watching along with those tournaments that are going on. So you're going to see this play out really, really heavily in the engagement model and the way people are going to have to be marketed to during these particular live streaming events. These breaking away to commercials is not the way to do it. Product placement, experience, taking those those popular players and having them endorse particular brands is going to become really important as we move forward as well. And then getting people engaged from a social aspect with that marketing experience is where I think the future is going to move forward. So if we take a look at the interactive gaming evolution, growth and usage, it's been helping prepare society for ongoing rise of human-computer interaction. I think that's really, really true. You can see that gaming tools are now improving human performance. Virtual and augmented reality is starting to become popular right now with the simulations and the headgear that's available for cheap. You can go into Walmart and for $10 you can get a set of headgear that's going to allow you to do either virtual or augmented reality for $10. So as long as you've got a phone, there's no limit as to who can get access to that now, especially with those cheap tools. In fact, if you go on Amazon for something like $1.50, you can actually buy a cardboard version of that's got two lenses as well. So the barriers for entry into virtual and augmented reality is very, very low. Immersive gaming tools is improving athletic performance. Again, the brain itself, the study shows that a person that actually goes through an exercise in their brain, the same brain activity fires as if they were doing it for real. So they're starting to use this in Stanford football, utilizing video and virtual reality to repeatedly run plays and scenarios so that it becomes muscle memory at that point, and they can continue to experiment with that to see how that's improving the overall gameplay and bringing the skills of the individual players to the fore to a higher level. Again, mental reps are going to improve performance here, and virtual and video reality is important to that particular play. If you take a look at the video machine learning, the visuals and deep analytics that can improve performance here, if you start to take a look at the analytics that are being produced by these games and tracked, you can start to see where individuals are improving, how individuals are improving. So the mathematics behind it, the analytics behind it is going to show how an individual can improve, and then utilizing those skill sets in other areas of industries. One of the real important things that's going to be moving forward is taking these deep machining analytics and taking them to trauma patients and seeing how they can improve their capabilities for rehab. So audio and guided meditation is going to increase mental focus and improve performance. These wearables, these ability to take a break and actually move forward, whether it's Nike Plus for running or whether it's a meditation tool, these things are all going to help people maintain focus and handle the stresses of the life. So applying the gamification back to a real life implementation of a product that's going to help an individual move forward, either in mental clarity or what have you, is where we're going to see starting to expand in the future. Peloton is something that you've maybe seen a lot right now. They're doing a big YouTube campaign right now. But basically, this is an interactive workout where you subscribe, you buy the bike, and you can subscribe to a real online class that's going on. So these trainers are actually take you through as if you were in the room, only you didn't have to go to any gym. We'll see how that takes off. Right now, there's 1 million plus workouts streamed in the first quarter of 2017. We see that's going to increase. If you take a look at the Peloton engagement right now, they've got 100,000 subscribers right now with a 95% retention rate after 1 year. And there's 400,000 home riders available. So they've had some success in this area, and I can see that continue to grow, especially as individuals become more and more isolated because they're doing more and more activities at home. And streaming these workouts directly to the home is important. So there's a real opportunity here if you're in the athletic arena for moving this into the home and getting that virtual and that social experience still, even though it's just you in a room. So video game simulations, we talked about this, that it'll actually help improve athletic strategy and performance. If you spend some time online playing the game, then it'll translate to the real game. You can see that the drivers, when they're doing the Nürburgring in Germany, they'll run the racing game over and over and over again before they get on the track, and that'll help them learn the track because it's an exact replica of the track. So again, anything that they do online is going to translate into the real world. Statistics again are going to help assist the athletes and coaches. So understanding where they're at on their statistics and gathering that information and being able to present that, and then they can work on those areas where they're dropping back or moving forward and increasing their strengths, or trying to address slightly with their weaknesses. Video game stats can be predictive. If you take a look at Madden Super Bowl winner prediction accuracy is 71% over 14 years. You can see who wins this based on the predictions versus the actual results. Again, this is back to the statistics. Statistics of better than a 50-50 chance of predicting what the outcome's going to be. Immersive gaming tools, improving performance across disciplines. Again, gamification is really where we need to move right now. If you take a look at Duolingo or Mango Health, Acorns, Nest, these are all experiences that are helping individuals with their consuming of their services, and they're also helping those people move forward with the interactive and social nature of the particular experience that they've got. Starbucks is one that you gain stars as you spend more at Starbucks. Those stars allow you to get free food at Starbucks. Mango Health is another one. DocSnap is another one that's actually using gamification to move forward in the diabetes management space. Those guys are making sure that those type 2 diabetes patients are staying on their chronic care track and having great results with the Navy at this point in time. Energy conservation, Nest capabilities is helping you track and save money, and of course Acorns for personal finance. Healthcare research, you can see that this was a really interesting one. They were trying to look at the genome itself, and they were trying to create proteins. And so what they did was they had a thing called Fold It out there, and they wanted to see how they could create a new drug and a new set of proteins out there. So the open environment allowed multiple people to play with it and to go through multiple different folds to actually end up with a real result that they could fold a protein in a specific way. Military training in a safe environment is going to be simulated, and it's going to help. Simulated surgery helps individuals move forward. And then really post-traumatic stress disorder therapy in the neuroscience. So you're going to see a lot in this particular area moving forward, especially in the future as the capabilities and the platform providers that are the product providers that are putting it out into the works there. Gamification's influencing the complex virtual worlds as well. You can see here simulated cities, power and web networks, and then simulated vast virtual networks as well. These games are getting larger and larger, and with more and more multiple players coming into those environments and able to build real world simulations. So as the rapid data continues to grow, gaming tools, interfaces, processors will continue to organize and drive usefulness. So taking those analytics is going to become very, very important. So again, if you're starting to gamify anything, you want to make sure that your analytics are there to support. You want to make sure that you're doing A/B testing to see what's working and what's not working, and you want to be able to take that feedback and improve your particular product that you're doing to the market. Again, in summary, we'll leave it here today, but in summary, gamification's really moving us forward. The analytics is really going to drive your product forward, looking at the social aspects of that product and making sure that the way you interact in a social way with your particular customers is going to be very, very important. So I appreciate you joining me again today. Tomorrow we will look at the next phase here, which is going to be further for 2017 and the changes that are coming forward. And I really appreciate you joining me, and I look forward to bringing you more and more of these. If you've got any comments, please go ahead and put it down to below, because that's important for me to get those feedbacks. If you've got any information about what other aspects that you want to actually put on the show, let me know. I'll be doing a lot more interviews as we move forward and bringing you a lot more of these demographics and analytics in the future.